What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 23, and we start today's episode off with Gomez coming to us and saying he was disappointed not to start the last game, which was the 3-0 victory against West Brom, where Butland rarely had to do anything. So Gomez disappointed not to start that one. Not that I'm really that bothered, because obviously we didn't really need him. And following out some player training, and also we saw that City have already been crowned champions of the Barclays Premier League. And as you can see by the league table here, there are 5 games to go for us, and we are 3 points behind Manchester United, who are currently in 4th place. So, in the last episode, I did discuss our top 4 chances, quite a lot, and I kept on being quite pessimistic with it. But the truth of the matter is, after that 3-0 victory against West Brom, there is still a definite chance. However, only 5 games to go. I think we need to win at least 4 of those 5, and hopefully start with this one against West Ham.
Low scoring side, the lowest scoring team in the division actually, and they've got to try and get the better of the best defence. It's going to be very hard for them to do that, but we wait and see with a fair amount of anticipation.
That's a good time to start to reverse their fortunes. It'll give them an awful lot of confidence if they can get 1 or 2 goals against this cracked defence.
And no disrespect to Spencer and the boys, but the fact of the matter is, with West Ham being the lowest scorers in the Premier League, and with us being the best at keeping goals out in the Premier League, it was looking very, very unlikely we were going to do anything other than win, or at the very least draw this game. But the first chance of the game would fall in the 11th minute, as Riedewald wins the ball back here and plays it through towards Troy Deeney down the right hand side. He has the pace on his man and tries to chip the goalkeeper from just outside the area, but it goes over the bar behind for a goal kick. And West Ham would have their first chance of the game here in the 25th minute, as Enner Valencia goes down the left-hand side. He whips across into the far post, picks out Morgan Amalfitano, but the shot goes wide and behind for a goal kick. And half-time in this game, as you can see, the score was West Ham 0, Watford 0. So not too many chances in the first half, but in the second half, first chance of the game would fall to us in the 51st minute, as Winston Reid gives the ball away. Our right-back, Nyom, cuts inside, robs the ball off his toes, and puts the ball past the goalkeeper and into the back of the net to make it West Ham 0, Watford 1. And Martin Tyler and Alan Smith discussed our fantastic defence prior to this game, but this was the polar opposite of fantastic defending from West Ham. Very, very poor from Winston Reid there, way too lazy on the ball. Our right back nicks it off his toes and gets his 3rd goal in the Premier League this season. And to be honest, this sort of summed up West Ham's game really. They were chasing the game late on, or supposed to be chasing the game late on, as they were trailing by a goal to 0. We're in the 89th minute, they forced the ball back to Adrian. He gives it straight to Berghaus, and had my finishing been better, it would have been West Ham 0, Watford 2. And that kind of summed up this year's game as well on Legendary. It really did. The AI are just, I discussed this in my career mode last year. The AI are rarely urgent with their play on Legendary. It's very, very simple short passes, very neat and tidy, but never really too many sort of long balls forward just to try and get some chances on the board. And in this year, it's been taken to a completely new level, because the tempo of this year's game is so slow. It's just genuinely the slowest FIFA I've played in I don't know how long. Because of that, it means that the AI, who were very reluctant to launch the ball forward most of the time anyway last year, now rarely ever do it. So in a game like that, where West Ham are fighting for their lives right now in the bottom 3. It's a real scrap down there with Norwich, Bournemouth, and I think Villa are the other team as well. It's like, in that game, they should have been really going for it, and in the 89th minute, they forced it back to their goalkeeper and almost gifted us a 2nd goal. But either way, maybe I'll discuss this year's game in a future video, because I've got so many opinions on it, and I'd love for you guys to hear them as well, because I'm sure you guys would agree. But anyway, we take on Norwich for the 2nd of 3 games in today's episode here away at Vicarage Road. So 1 win already from the final 5 games. I'm targeting 4, and the first chance of this game would fall to Norwich, but this shot goes wide at the post from Matt Jarvis, I think it was, and behind for a goal kick. We had our first chance of the game in the 38th minute though, through Gerardo striking his free kick from a long way out, and had that gone in, that would have been a contender for goal of the series, let alone goal of the season. But it was still 0-0 at half-time, as so many of my half-time scorelines are, sadly. So 0-0 in this game. 9 minutes after the restart, though, a great chance for Norwich to open the scoring, as Matt Jarvis does go down the left-hand side. He has the pace on our Algerian centre-back Belkalem and whips it across to the centre, but Jack Butler makes not 1 but 2 fantastic saves. Not sure who denied first, Wes Houlihan I think, and then Nathan Redmond. 2 great saves by our young goalkeeper, who looks on course to get the Golden Glove this season, and it is still Norwich 0, Watford 0. And from that, we work our way up the pitch as well, pick out Danny Rose down the left-hand side, and the former Spurs left-back gets onto his right foot before playing the ball across the pitch towards Etienne Capoue. Capoue gives it to our right back, looking for his second goal in 2 games, but it wasn't the best of attempts, and he goes harmlessly wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. So still 0-0 in this game. One of the final chances would fall here, though, as we had ourselves a corner and Bertrand Traore was standing over it. He swings across in the centre, picks out Etienne Capoue, but his header goes wide of the post and behind for a goal kick, and it was how the game would finish as well. Final score, Norwich 0, Watford 0. A goalless draw here at Carrow Road, and sadly not the most entertaining either. It was a very, very frustrating game. I just could not get the ball off Norwich, and when I did, I didn't do enough with it. I gave it away too many times, couldn't create too many good opportunities. Norwich did have the best chances of the game, Butler making a great double save though, ensured he would get a clean sheet. So did his opposite number, and we do draw that game 0-0. So very disappointed about that one, to be honest, because yes, of course it is another clean sheet. I think that's now 4 in 5 games, which is really, really impressive. But the problem is, you know, those sort of games right there, you need to be able to break down a defence like that. Like Norwich's defence was so compact, I just could not break them down. You need to be able to break them down if you want to get the wins and get yourself into the top 4. We needed to win that game, really. And, you know, the chance of us getting into the top 4 is still there. As you can see, we've got 3 games to go, and we are 2 points behind United and Spurs, but they've got a game in hand on us now because we slipped up against Norwich, and I'm a little bit worried that maybe, just maybe, although the dream is still alive, it might just be slipping away from our grasp right at the end. Still, we take on Aston Villa for the 3rd and final game of today's episode here. Another side scrapping for points down the bottom half of the table in the bottom 5 places. And the first chance would fall to us in the 7th minute as Loftus-Cheek gets onto the ball here. Got a little bit lucky as I didn't really know what I was doing with the ball, but eventually got round my man, took the shot. Brad Guzan made the save though, and eventually Villa got the ball away. So still 0-0. In the 19th minute, as Villa give the ball away here through Jolie and Lescott, Ibarra goes down the left-hand side. Not only did Lescott give the ball away, but he's also given a penalty as well. Victor Ibarra hits the deck, and the referee awards a penalty. So penalty to Watford here, 21 minutes in. Lescott also got a booking for his troubles as well. First giving the ball away, and then taking down Ibarra. Can't have too many complaints. Referee gives a penalty, as it was, and a great chance to make it 1-0 from the spot. So Ibarra taken down with slight contact on the boots, maybe not too much, but enough, and a great chance from the spot for us to make it 1-0. Troy Deeney stands up to take it, and Troy Deeney scores it as well, sends Brad Guzan the wrong way, and the American is beaten for the first time in the game as we make it Watford 1, Villa 0. So couldn't score in the entire 90 minutes against Norwich, but already up and running in this game just 24 minutes in. Ibarra winning the penalty, Deeney converting it from 12 yards, and he makes it Watford 1, Aston Villa 0. So if we are going to get into the top 4 this season, this guy surely does deserve a pay increase come the end of it, because he's been absolutely fantastic. That is his 17th goal in the Premier League this season. And once again, in the 44th minute, well, the first goal was a mistake through Jolie and Lescott, giving the ball away and then giving the penalty away. He may not have done the latter for this goal, but he certainly did the former. Once again, Jolie and Lescott lazy on the ball. We rob it with Bertrand Traore, go down the right-hand side, chip it into the centre. Who's waiting? It's Troy Deeney, and Deeney rounds Brad Guzan and makes it Watford 2, Aston Villa 0. So 2 goals in this game. Jolie and Lescott having an absolutely nightmare half. Tim Shaw must have been thinking about subbing him off at half-time as Deeney gets his 2nd goal of the game. Both of them pretty easy for him, and it's 2-0 to Watford. So that is now goal number 18 for Troy Deeney this season, and he is doing everything he can to get himself the golden boot. Still 2-0 was the half-time score, and in the second half not much really happened, to be honest. Aston Villa did have one chance here, but Kozak fires his shot over the bar and behind for a goal kick, and it was still 2-0. Villa didn't really do too much in this game, to be honest, and when they were looking threatening, they were giving the ball away in the final third and not creating too many chances. And in the 86th minute, we had a great chance to seal the game and seal the 3 points and get our 3rd goal, and we would do just that as well. Troy Deeney turned from scorer to provider for this moment, got played the ball down the right-hand side, had the pace, and possibly could have gone one-on-one with Brad Guzan, but instead, team player crosses the ball to the far post, picks out Etienne Capoue, and Capoue finds the back of the net as well to make it Watford 3, Aston Villa 0. So good strength by Deeney to hold off Lescott. Great ball across the face of the box as well. There's Capoue, and he's not going to miss. So Watford 3, Aston Villa 0. But right from kick-off, as you can see, Aston Villa do kick off and get the game back underway. But to be honest, this sort of summed their game up, really. A simple pass goes astray. Alan Hudden can't get to it, and we win ourselves a throw. And from the throw, Rose gives it to Falevi off the bench. Back to Rose, inside to Barami, also off the bench. Picks out his fellow Ronaldo substitute for Levy, who double step overs around Sanchez, gets himself inside, nice little fake shot dummy, and a wonderful finish as well. So just really poor from Aston Villa in this game, absolutely terrible. Didn't know where they were defensively, positioning was terrible for so many of the goals, and for this one, giving the ball away right from kickoff and just letting us get inside from the left-hand side, and a great finish as well. So for Levy puts the icing on the cherry on the cake, as I would say. It's going to be our biggest win of the season at 4-0, and for Levy coming off the bench to get his second goal of the season since returning from loan seals the 3 points in start. I thought that was actually quite a nice goal as well. We're sort of being a bit too critical of the Villa defence, I think, there. But anyway, it was a nice goal by Levy, and it is 4-0 to Watford. So it's the second goal of the season for the 17-year-old. Out of contract in the summer, but of course he will be getting a new one, that's for sure. Second goal for a club, and it is Watford 4, Aston Villa 0. And also how the game would finish as well. Final score, Watford 4, Aston Villa 0. So another win notched up for Watford. We get another 3 points here at Vicarage Road. You know, it's going to be tough. The advantage is with Spurs and Manchester United right now, with those games in hand and still being much more likely to finish in the top 4 come the end of the season. But with 2 games to go, don't write us off. The dream is still alive, and we could still possibly get into the top 4 and get Champions League football at Vicarage Road next season. But that does end the episode, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like, that is much appreciated. It really does help my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.